You are listening to Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast, a podcast where we believe wrestling is a buffet and there's something there for everyone. Make sure you're following us on all social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook under Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. Make sure you check out our website, twoheelsandaface.com.
Era, 2 Heels and a Face.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. Chris, I don't know if you can tell, but Tuesday, March 21st, it really kicked my ass today. So I'm glad we're doing a podcast about a comedy wrestlers parody bracket because I need some joy in my life.
Tuesdays are often rough, right? They're not quite, the middle of the week, the end of the week. But we're just shaking off, that Monday rust. And, what a better way to do it than just with the podcast here. And we have a special guest. Right?
That's true.
We couldn't talk about a comedy bracket without this specific person, I think.
Yeah. So our guest today is Jeremy Zaucha, also known as the real Jeremy Zaucha on Twitter. That's so you don't confuse him with the other Jeremy Zauchas out there. But if you're familiar with this podcast, he hasn't been on in a long time. He's a recurring guest, one of the many recurring, and he's like our comedy wrestling consultant, also pro wrestling tees extraordinaire, also just really good dude and fun to go to shows with. I was just kind of thinking about my history with Jeremy. My history with Jeremy goes back to the Illinois State college days, and the Jeremy I knew then, although really the same individual. It's funny to think how far I think my relationship with Jeremy has come, because I knew him from an alternative spring break trip group that did like community service and things of that nature. That's how I met Jeremy. And now we're in the year 2023, and I think Jeremy is still the same person, but like my perception of him now is like cutting promos with Colt Cabana. So it's cool to see how that arc has happened here in this wrestling community.
Yeah, and the very first time we brought him on, it's when we kind of like discovered that, at least I discovered that side of Jeremy, that he was into comedy wrestling, like has a lot of historical knowledge there, and definitely put us on into some funny areas of wrestling, right? Which that we talk about the wrestling is a buffet. I definitely enjoy the funny parts of wrestling as well, and connoisseur, the real Jeremy Zaucha. Let's bring him in. We're talking about him like he's not here, but I know he's in the green room. So,
whoa, wow! I love all the fans.
The fans.
Wow! Thank you, everyone. Sorry, you caught me mid ice cream break. But yeah, thank you for such kind words. I heard it through the green room wall.
Yeah,
also,
it's definitely not soundproof.
Snacks in here, wonderful. Couch I could take a nap on. It's a great setup you got in the green room.
Yeah, we really try. But yeah, Jeremy, it's great to catch up. I know we text every now and then, like, hey, you going to this show? But you've been doing some really cool things. And yeah, I mean, it's been established, I think, that comedy and wrestling. That's what this year's buffet bracket, use the hashtag buffet bracket on socials. That's what this is all about. So it only makes sense for you, I think, to be sitting in this chair right now talking to us.
Yeah, I really appreciate you consulting me and view me as a little bit of an expert on this. In looking at this bracket, like obviously I've seen it, I've already voted as well for the first round.
Thank you.
But it was nice to see a nice mix of like some classic and some that I'm not super familiar with either, because I haven't been able to go to shows in the last, 2 years with my work being so busy. And I've been traveling a lot too. So I was really excited to see the nice mix on this bracket. And my actual bracket is completely destroyed. So it was fun to have another bracket to look forward to.
That's great. Yeah, that's kind of the point of it, right? The consolation. Everyone's in bracket mode, bracket season. I've been been and we can pull it up too. This is the bonus stuff you get on YouTube. Been educating Chris right on the seating, all the nomenclature or verbiage that goes along with it. I'm like, Chris, we got to have some seating because that's what people talk about, right? Like a 16 upsetting a 1. That doesn't happen on this bracket, but that's like a huge deal in the. I mean, how far did you have Purdue going in your actual bracket?
Oh, and I'm winning. That's why my.
Oh God.
Yeah. I didn't really follow college basketball this year. I was like, I gotta do a bracket. I was like, oh, I'm Purdue. Like my step grandfather went to Purdue. I was like, let's just go for it. The number 1 seed, they'll at least get to like at least Elite 8, so can't hurt me that much. And then of course they get destroyed the first round.
Yeah, no, it's I don't really know how to explain it. It's 3 years in a row. I think they've had a very, very early exit, so it's kind of becoming like this cursed basketball program that always does really well in the regular season. But so yeah, there was even, and we can talk about the bracket too. It was pretty chalky through the first round here. But first I want to catch up on like all the stuff you've been doing with Pro Wrestling Tees. Like the person in this bracket is Colt. And I know that Colt Cabana. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I never heard of him.
Okay. So should we give background on who he is then?
So, okay. So there's been some stuff that's gone around social media. I'll give the whole story. Please.
I need the context.
So I work at Pro Wrestling Tees, where I'm the warehouse manager of Pro Wrestling Tees. I've become somewhat of a public face of Pro Wrestling Tees by hosting a lot of their whatnot streams. I host all of their card breaks. So like we have wrestling cards.
Okay. Yeah. Explain that. Explain it to me like I'm 5, like what that is. I don't understand that. What is a whatnot? And I'm getting up there in age. So
sure. So whatnot's like a live auction stream. So it's kind of like eBay, but instead of just putting on a website and people bid for a week, it's live in your face over the internet, mostly through an app, and people bid on things live.
Okay.
What I do for Pro Wrestling Tees is I host the card break. So we sell like 12 spots, then we open up cards, and then people kind of they get to at a random order, they get to choose which cards they want.
Okay.
So that's what I do for them. But there's this other show they do that's like their main show where they have that guy, Colt Cabana. He hosts that. And what started as a simple mistake, simple misunderstanding, led to him going insane and ending every stream with I don't know, what can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
He ends every stream with "fuck you, Jeremy," and
that's like, directly towards
to
you.
Me.
You're the Jeremy.
To me.
No, wait, no, don't.
Whoa.
Why don't you fuck you, Jeremy? Dude.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a. I'm not gonna go into the mistake. It's in the past.
Okay,
but
I feel like the listeners need that context, like why the ink.
Nah. I mean, it's in the past. But he says, "Fuck you, Jeremy," and it's like, wow, like I'm the only Jeremy he knows. I know it's me. And then so that was a while, and then I thought I was gonna squash it. I had because I do the card breaks and right after his show, I walked up to him live on the stream. I was like, "Hey, can you sign this card? I feel like there's been a huge misunderstanding. I wanna really squash this. I've been a fan of you for so long.
Fan of comedy.
Yeah, like obviously huge fan." And then I got him to sign it, and then there's just this. As soon as he left the room, I had this urge to be like, "This isn't right." And in my soul, I was like, I can't accept this. So I immediately auctioned it off and just took the money. And he's mad about that still. I don't understand. So yeah, so me and Mr. Cabana are not on great terms right now. But I still remember the memories I have when I was a younger lad and watching Colt Cabana. So I think I could be impartial here, but you might catch a few things. I might say a few things that might not be kosher with a lot of listeners out there.
That's okay. I'd say you don't censor yourself unless you feel like it's maybe pushing into a
fuck you,
realm.
Jeremy. Come on.
I need to know, Jeremy, I've never once had an ill, like I mentioned my history with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
How we met. And then we also then reconnected over wrestling, basically, because we saw each other at the show and we're like, oh, I didn't know you like this thing. Because I don't think I wasn't super into it in college. That was like through my lull phase. You might have been, but maybe we just didn't talk about it.
I was in a lull phase too. I think a little bit less of I guess still like followed it, but I wasn't like watching it as often.
Yeah. So we had reconnected. I've known you in almost 2 parts of my life. That's what I kind of see it as. And you have never had a negative feeling towards you. So I guess Chris. What do you think?
I've never heard a negative thing said about Jeremy except
I don't know,
Mr. Boom Boom Cabana. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, never heard a negative thing said about.
I'm a little angel. I'm innocent. Look at this. How can you say fuck you to this guy?
Maybe he was using it as like a transition between shows.
No, he's made it very clear. Yeah, it's it's
the fact
awkward.
you wanted to make somebody else happy by allowing somebody else to get this signed autograph item by Mr. Cabana. I don't know why he would, take that negatively.
I even wrote a nice little message on the COA we provide. Check out the live streams. You'll kind of get.
And where are these? Are they
the whatnots?
So the Pro Wrestling Tees Whatnot, like the main show is Tuesdays at 5:30 Central. Then right after that, usually around 6:37 ish is when the card breaks start. And then there's we also do another show on alternating Fridays. We do a Friday show. It's Figure 4 Friday. It's all action figures or micro brawlers. And then there's sometimes a card break after that, sometimes not. And the other Friday, we do Tchotchke Friday, which is all the little a lot of them, it's like crate items or like just small items that, you're not going to be spending $100 on. They're cheaper items, so they're good. It's good for people that want to get in the action but want to kind of go in at a lower price point. And it's a lot of stuff. You can only ever find on eBay. So if you want to go directly to Person Tees, that's the way to do that. And then also, I take over the Person Tees Whatnot every once in a while and sell a lot of sports memorabilia that I've procured on Whatnots. As you can see behind me, I have a bunch of signed helmets. So I have a lot of
those are helmets.
Oh, that's what they are. I see.
They're signed NFL helmets. But yeah,
I was wondering. Pro Wrestling Tees has grown a lot. Like, why are they still, stashing Jeremy's room over there?
Oh no, that's
T-shirts and such.
I know it looks like the guy you in the basement of Pro Wrestling Tees, just working 24/7. That's what
sometimes. But no, I live in a basement apartment. It's actually really interesting. The tallest the ceilings get are like 6 foot. Like right now, I'm touching the ceiling.
Yeah, you are.
So yeah, well, welcome everyone. To my hobbit hole.
That works for you. I wouldn't say you're necessarily a short guy, but I think you can clear that.
Well, the listing for this place specifically said good for someone who's not tall. So I was like, that I fit the bill.
There you go. So
and go ahead, Charlie.
No, I was gonna. Am I just a dum-dum? Whatnot is its own platform.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So these don't go on YouTube or Twitch. These are specifically Whatnot. Okay.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
You know who I learned through of Whatnot through Ethan Page.
Yep.
Ethan Page started doing Whatnots, and then I started seeing Pro Wrestling Tees do Whatnots, and then Colt Cabana being featured on it. and clearly Jeremy, taking over and making it a huge success. So there you go.
Yeah. Right, it's all on my back. Without me, it doesn't function.
Castro does some of those, right?
He does. Yeah, he's a moderator most times. He's one of the hosts for Chachi Mania.
Okay.
And he's kind of like a fill-in host too. A lot of times, if someone's not going to be available, he can like jump in. I think he hosted Figure 4 Friday once when Ryan was not available. So yeah, Castro's a big part of the whatnot as well.
That's
and
awesome.
behind the scenes too. He helps out a lot there too.
It sounds like you're having a lot, because I think, how long have you been working there? It seems like you've gotten more and more, I don't know if I say responsibility, but you gotten more and more invested in like helping in different areas of as it's gone on, right?
Yeah, I'm coming up on 2 years full time.
Okay.
I think.
But more than that, just being part of.
Yeah, I've been
right?
helping out since 2017. So like, it's been 6 years now. Yeah, it'll be 6 years in August. I've been just helping out. You working part time while also like having another full time job. But yeah, 2 years ago is when I transitioned full time into pro wrestling tees.
Cool. Is it true that wrestling has more than one royal family, and that royal family is the Pro Wrestling Tees family?
Yeah, there's that, and then there's the Heenan family.
Okay.
Who else? I mean, I like to think the Oddities were a bit of a family.
Dysfunctional
together. Yeah. There's been a few.
That's
but yeah. No, yeah. And I'll say this on record. We're still cool with Cody, even though he went to WWE. So
okay.
Cool.
I know there's been a lot of questioning. Is T still okay with Cody? Yeah, we're still cool. We'll say hi on holidays and stuff like that.
But did you have to get rid of did you have to not stop selling his stuff then?
I don't know I don't remember. I mean, look on the website.
Okay.
If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. I don't know. That's one thing. I mean, we don't have any like, I think you can still get his action figure. His LJN action figure, I think, is still on the website.
Okay.
So definitely check that out.
How do we turn you into a micro brawler? I feel like that would be a really good brawler to get.
I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Okay. I don't think so. There's people have said it. I was like, I don't even know how that would work. And
people have said that before about you.
Well, it'd be weird, like, because for the other two people, so two staff members have gotten micro brawlers.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep. I mean, Matt Nix.
Got his.
Yes.
But he's also a wrestler. And then Frank, who co-hosts the card breaks with me. He's the Barracuda mailbox bomber. He's got a micro brawler as well. But for them, like, Ryan ordered them, the owner, obviously, and I received them because I manage the warehouse. So like we could keep it a secret from them. But if I'm the one receiving it, I don't know how you keep it a secret from me. It'd be weird to know that my micro brawler is being shipped.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if there's not going to be any more staff, because I know there's been some talk of like, there's obviously Scrump, who hosts the PWT cast.
Right.
He'd be a good one. Dave, the head designer. Castro, obviously. There's other people that could be in line for a micro brawler. I don't know if there's ever going to be another one. I know there will never be a Ryan, the owner, micro brawler until he dies.
So he said,
yeah.
Okay.
Because and specifically he's like, I don't want to know that if no one would buy my micro brawler.
Oh, okay. He doesn't want the judgment of high or low sales.
No, he has no idea. Like, you have no idea how many people are going to buy. He's like, I don't even want to know. So when I'm dead and I don't care anymore, you can create a micro brawler then. So
okay, great.
You'll know then.
That's great. I know. Yeah, I feel like you'd want your input on your own if there were to be one. And had we transitioning now, I'm glad we got your input on the bracket, because when we sent it to you,
yep,
you're like, damn, that's a pretty good bracket. And I want to point out that we had some other. Jeremy also sent us some other wrestlers, but we wanted to make it very indie focused. I mean, it makes sense with what we talk about regularly on this podcast. So we didn't like an R-Truth, right? Comes to mind. I think that was one of the first
Right.
ones you
I think
texted
one of
me.
the when we
Yeah.
were putting this together, right, part of it was like we wanted to keep it as indie as possible, but also
Correct.
not overlook, some talent that's out there. But because we thought of Santino Morella and
Mhm.
Orange
but
Cassidy.
we try to keep it to the two heels and a face taste.
Yep.
Exactly.
But
and
right
yeah,
before we go into the bracket,
Yes.
just because before we move to that, I did want to ask, just because that's the reason I haven't jumped into Whatnot, because I feel like it's a slippery slope for me.
Yeah. It is.
With
Because
the
you're just
wrestling
gonna be
memorabilia,
buying everything.
and I do not have as much space as I had before.
Yeah.
But I do want to know if you can recall what is the most expensive thing that was sold through there, and what was it?
I think the most well, I can speak to the percentages one. I think the most expensive one I remember, I think, was the Swaggle Micro Brawler, and it was the accidental 2-up Micro Brawler. So you know how we sold the Micro Brawler Major Wrestling figure 4-pack,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's a square box.
Okay.
And Swaggle is in it, but Swaggle's like half the size of everyone else.
I was gonna ask if his micro brawler was smaller or not.
Yeah, and he's naked. He's naked with just the Major Wrestling figure title belt over his junk.
Okay.
But when they first made it, they forgot that he was supposed to be half size, so they made him normal size.
Oh.
So it's basically an accidental 2-up.
It was a defect.
And basically, Ryan was like, "Yeah, just send it to me. I'll figure out what to do with it." This was years before Whatnot existed, but
Right,
eventually Whatnot came out
way before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it just worked out that when he had Whatnot, he put it up and it sold for over $1,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like when they print, they print a set of Pokemon cards, but it has like some kind of like default in it, and then they got to reprint. But it's like those 100 that went out just increased in value.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's the only Swaggle that's actual size. So the person that got it is the only one in the world.
I love that you're into collecting too. I think that's really cool, and also Chris as well, because I almost live vicariously through you guys in that, because that's not something I want to get into, but I think it's just really interesting, that world. And I know, but you are, to be clear, you are levels removed from the people that will like hunt down WWE wrestlers at the airport to flip an autograph. Your level's clear of that. You're not in that same group.
I only go to their houses.
Okay.
I set up appointments and it's fine. No. I'm
the pest control. You show up in uniform.
Exactly.
On an invoice. Yeah, exactly.
I just have a bunch of fake pest control invoice signed by WWE superstars. That's great. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Jeremy, you had for a while, you had the whole collection of micro brawlers up to a certain point.
I did.
Do you still have that, or did you Whatnot the crap out of that?
So during the pandemic, I sold a bunch of them. A lot of the really expensive ones, including my X-Pac, my Billy Gunn, which were never officially released. So those are like super rare. I kept a few. I think I'm gonna sell some more of them because I really stopped collecting as soon as there started to be chase variants of brawlers, and I was like, it's impossible for me to keep 100% collection, even working at the company. Like, because like I can't just take a chase. Like, there's like limited amounts of them. Like, so I was like, it's gonna be too much of a hassle to be a completist. So I'm just only gonna kind of collect the ones I like. And then now, since I manage the warehouse, and I'm the one that's in charge of shipping every one of them, they're even less attractive to me because it's like it's a stressor on me. Like,
yes,
oh, I have to get these out.
It's like mixing work with pleasure. Almost, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a fun collectible, and then like they display super well because they're really small. But I think I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna be at C2E2. We officially announced that. I think I'm gonna bring a few of my more pricey ones, and I'll sell them to you at C2E2. I think I'll have my Piper.
I heard for a while Taz was
Taz, yeah.
I actually bought a Taz on the opening day of Pro Wrestling Tees. It was in like the mixed pile of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I went for that first day when you guys opened, and I bought a Taz and I bought a Mick Foley T-shirt, the autograph T-shirts that he had, the Cactus Jack.
Okay.
So I still have the Taz, but I'm like I've heard that Taz is one of the ones that for a while was being sought out after.
It's probably $75 to $100 you have right there.
It's a couple diapers.
Yeah, for sure. There's the number one, I think, just like regular, not like, because we now have like we haven't, like, they started sending us the prototypes, so now we're starting to sell the prototypes and whatnot. Because people like to collect those. But the most expensive regular one, I think, is the X-Pac one, which is, you're looking at anywhere from like $400 to $600 for X-Pac.
Jeez,
that's if you can find one. There's not very many.
Right, I'm like,
there.
I don't even
Holy
remember
crap.
like them being on sale.
Yep.
Wait, are those high? So the micro brawlers are higher than like a lot of Funkos.
Yeah, I would say so. For some, it's yeah,
a lot less are made. Like
okay,
Funkos,
and that's why. Yeah.
Funkos, you have like every one of a Funko is going to have at least probably 50,000, I think, or 20,000.
Okay.
Like, and micro brawlers don't hit that now. Those numbers.
Okay, and that makes them more rare and more valuable. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so enough of my derailing into the micro brawlers. Let's get back to the bracket.
There was no agenda. You're not derailing because there's literally no agenda today. I said I'm not making an agenda today. Jeremy is the agenda.
Yeah.
Whatever we're going to talk about is the agenda. You got me scrolling through C2E2 now because you said that.
Yep.
I've never been to one.
Oh, yeah.
And
we're going to have Danhausen on Friday. And Brody King's going to be there all 3 days.
And this is at like your table?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
So check us out. I think C2 is officially announcing it tomorrow as we record. So probably when this comes out, it'll already be officially announced.
Breaking moves. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, the bracket.
Here we go. The bracket. So go ahead, Charlie. Take us away.
So, like I said, indie-specific comedy wrestlers. We tried to obviously highlight some freelance people. We wanted to make it's a community focus. So the people that I think we talked to, we want them to be on it. We did. Chris had a good idea, although that the first round has already happened. By the time you listen to this, you'll probably see a new bracket out there. But the first round has already happened. But Chris saw the idea of like putting Marty DeRosa in here, which we love Marty. This also allows us to tag Marty in this image, which also then gets him excited and promotes interaction and things like that. So, Marty DeRosa versus Cole Cabana, which obviously friends, rivals, whatever you want to call them, felt like a really good first round matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Mega Powers explode, and I mean, Marty probably ran away with it. So,
I hate to say it, but yeah, Colt did advance in this round. So I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Man, I can't believe he stuffed these ballots.
He stole. You need to stop the steal, Jeremy.
Yeah, I need to. Oh, I'll be rioting at the steps of Pro Wrestling Tees.
You need to rally the troop. Jeremy, if you're running, when is the next whatnot? You need to rally the troops, and I believe he's playing. He's against Chris. Chris just did the. If you're watching on YouTube,
Whoa.
bonus stuff. Chris just blacked out the losers for the first round. Luigi Primo. So can you rally the whatnot troops? That would be maybe a good way to get back at him, and then have everyone vote.
Yeah, where I'm throwing a pizza party if Luigi wins.
There we go.
So Luigi Primo, as you know, the guy who went viral maybe last year, was it late last year?
Mm-hmm.
Middle of last year?
Yeah, middle last year, summer last year, yeah.
Who's as he's chaining, as he's wrestling, he's spinning the dough, which is rather impressive. I know that Nix had wrestled him at Warrior Wrestling too, I believe. So
yeah.
Nix has firsthand experience with this dough guy. He took out
food versus food
dough
here.
Guy. Yeah.
That's correct.
That was a true 4 versus 5. I think Serial Man, like he only wrestled here that one weekend.
Right. And I think this was your idea, Jeremy. I think you said maybe include Hood Slam people.
Yeah.
Or like, oh shit, yeah.
Because literally, this is Serial Man. I know he already lost, but like Serial Man is a serial superhero, and like he basically has costumes for every cereal, and it's amazing. It's amazing the amount of effort and like work. I mean, obviously his face is literally a cereal box, but like the fact that he has so many different accoutrements.
Couldn't have said him better myself.
Yeah. What cereal do you guys like? What do you guys eat?
Growing up, I was a big peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Okay. Really good one. I'm a fan of the peanut butter cereals, like Reese's Puffs and things like that. Yeah.
I also like
growing up, the Tony the Tiger cornflakes. Like as a kid, I don't know if this is a Hispanic thing, but my grandma used to chop up bananas and eat it with banana. Like is your bowl of cereal with banana, and like that was the thing. Like
I don't think that's unheard of. I wasn't unheard of in my household, but I felt like it was rare. It only like went with certain cereals. I don't know. It wasn't like an everyday thing. I don't know if that was everyday for you.
No, it wasn't everyday, but because cereal wasn't also an everyday thing.
That's true. Well, I would go on like I would feel like I would go on like bad binges as a kid, where like until the box was gone, I basically.
Do you guys remember the Oreos?
Oh
yes.
Yeah, because it made the milk taste really good after it.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
When I discovered that, then cereal was an everyday thing.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, Jeremy, about the new costumes, because doesn't Hood Slam run like weekly, or at least used to?
I mean, a lot has probably changed after the pandemic, but
true.
They would run pretty regularly out west. And it was
we were
more.
Just talking to Heather Monroe, and I think she mentioned that it was a weekly thing.
Oh. Yeah. One thing I liked about Hood Slam is it had a very Chikara vibe.
Okay, yes.
And like if you're talking about comedy wrestling, you also are going to want to talk about Chikara, because Chikara definitely had its a lot of its basis in just comedy, because it was basically a comic book. Like that was the whole idea. And it's sad that Chikara kind of ended the way it did. I wish it was kind of still around, because I think it would do well in today's day and age. I think it would do well within the world of social media with like clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, their commissioner was Bob Saget. Like,
just saying that.
Rest in peace, Bob Saget. But like that, like they were ahead of their game and like, and just comedy wrestling, and just like, and they influenced a lot of stuff that like PWG did as well, because PWG has those comedy matches all the time.
Yeah.
And it almost there's so many wrestlers that did those matches. You're like, oh, I want to put them on this list, but it's like they weren't really comedy wrestlers. They just did comedy matches every once in a while.
Yeah.
So this was a good list of like truly people that are there to entertain you.
Yeah, almost like the same way every time. I think so.
Yeah.
Chris mentioned Ethan Page before. I think Ethan Page could have a comedy style match. Like I think Ethan Page wrestled
Oh,
with
dude.
Grado,
Yeah.
didn't he? At
Mhm.
Freelance, I think
at
we witnessed
Freelance.
that. And that one was obviously with Grado. Grado is the 1C on the other side of the bracket, which we'll get to. But Ethan Page is capable of that. But Ethan Page also has those really intense matches where he's like a dick, and that's not meant to be funny. But yeah.
You could say the same thing about GPA. Like if we really take it to a freelance level, I think he can have any type of match. Like
Yeah, he's very versatile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't want to give him too many compliments on this recording, but
I don't think I've seen very many like true comedy GPA matches. But I mean, I'm not the world's expert on today's freelance, so I need to go more.
Yeah, I think he's more spots. Like I think he's capable of more like comedy spots, but he's been wrestling. Him and Laney have been tagging for a while now, so we really haven't. Like he's done. You know what he did? He did like it was a little bit of comedy. It was Laney and GPA versus Jordan Grace and Gresham at Zello. It's one of like the last time Zello ran, which they're not dead. I think they're gonna run again, but. It was like Laney and GPA were like doing the kissing spot too much, where they would like kiss, and then he went to kiss her and she wasn't there, so he had like his eyes closed with his lips puckered, and then something happened to him like that. Like that's a little bit of like,
gotcha.
I'm showing off and I get myself into a bad predicament kind of spot. So he can do it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, let's get him. Let's try to recruit him over.
Take way less bumps. Larry Sweeney.
Oh,
I think this is I think was this Jeremy's suggestion here?
Yeah,
we put this one in there for Jeremy because I know Jeremy has mentioned him on the podcast before.
Yeah, sweet and sour. It's he would be doing so much right now in wrestling if he was still with us. So sweet and sour Larry Sweeney, for those of you who don't know, he was a wrestler in the early 2000s, and then kind of became a manager in Ring of Honor for a little while. Also wrestled in Chikara. But the best thing about sweet and sour Larry Sweeney is when he was like, his character was not, he didn't play it like a comedy character. Like he was serious in who he was. But in how he was so serious, he was able to like do all these funny things. Like his I can never remember the full name, but it's a Texarkana like tri-state world title that he defended. He just created the title himself, but defended it. And it was like he was almost like a throwback to like an 80s wrestler and like took it so seriously, but was like really flamboyant, like an 80s like territory wrestler, but really flamboyant, almost like a WWF wrestler as well. Okay. Amazing on the mic. Like truly anyone who ever saw him wrestle saw that there was a huge future for him in the business. Unfortunately, he had his own demons that kind of.
Yeah, you know who mentioned him, and I actually thought about you, Jeremy, when I heard his name. It was Robert Eagle Anthony in his podcast. Like he's mentioned him a few times.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, that's Sweeney, the one that Jeremy talks about.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean,
that was cool.
I like he is like he's one that if he had made it another 5 years, he would have been one of the biggest names in wrestling.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
He wouldn't be like a world champion, but he'd be someone like everyone want him on. Like he would have been WWE, I think, for sure.
Okay. How far did he get? Was he just in the Indies, like, or did
he was in Ring of Honor? I mean,
Ring of Honor? Okay.
Yeah, he was a manager and a personality Ring of Honor, and yeah, I mean, they're like he had this huge feud with Eddie Kingston in Chikara. I think he had a feud with Claudio as well in Chikara.
Did he like take himself so seriously that it was funny? almost?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Like he was like he'd like come out and like he came out to more. How do you like me? How do you like me?
Okay.
And it's like he's like, I'm better. It's almost like an MJF, like I'm better than all of you. I'm the greatest. Like, and just he like strut out. And then he do comedy spots in the match as well though. But he took it very seriously. Like every match I saw him, I used to see him at NWA Midwest in Streamwood, Illinois. And every match I saw, I think his ass came out every time. Like, and it was like so natural. Like he had some great matches with Delirious. I think I saw online. I saw a match with him. It was a 3-way dance. Him, Cole Cabana, and Delirious. And it's one of the funniest matches I ever saw live at the time. Like it was like he just brought joy to everyone that saw him.
And we paired him up here almost in a handicap match against PME.
Yeah, tag teams were counted as one, basically. Because I feel like that, the tag team, you don't really do singles, so the tag team is kind of the act.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think it was good that we looked at tag teams also, right? Like we didn't, oversee the fact that there were tag teams, so there were 2, therefore it doesn't count, and they don't enter this bracket of comedy wrestlers. But I think we had seen PME over the last years, at least in Freelance Underground, I'm sure.
Who ended up winning this matchup?
Say no more.
Okay. I think Jeremy did a really good job of educating, I think, there. And I feel like we need to promote him a little bit more so people kind of know who he is. Maybe we follow up one of our tweets with like something about him, a video about him or something like that to kind of educate the crew.
There's a lot of stuff on YouTube if you want to check out Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be
Larry Sweeney moves on to the next round.
I don't want to be anti-Chico because Chico ended up rallying the troops somehow, and he knocked out Swoggle. That was the 7-2 matchup.
Wow, that's an upset.
That was the only really one that wasn't basically like there wasn't the favorite moved on, I think. So Chico did come out on a little mini bike at Emporium recently.
Hey, whoa. Don't say that stuff against Swoggle.
Small person bike?
What? No, you just... Why are you saying mini bike when he's facing Swoggle? Like that's
man. It is. The bike is small. The bike is small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No offenses, man.
Hey, but we knew that Chico had a tough opponent when he was going up against Swoggle here.
Yeah. I mean, and so Chico's one of the local persons that I've actually seen. Because he's everywhere right now,
right?
Locally, and I think this was of all the places for an upset. Like this was the most vulnerable, especially because Chico has such a local following. And what didn't surprise me that he upset Swoggle.
I think D-Ray on Facebook said Chico's quadrant of the bracket was the hardest.
Oh, absolutely! Yeah, I mean he has the toughest.
Toughest road.
I mean, he's going against. Swoggle obviously multiple WWE WrestleManias. Probably a Hall of Famer in the future. Sweet and Sour, and he's gonna face Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney in the next round. Who I think, while Chico is right now like people that know Sweet and Sour, so we'll see. That'll be a tough one. If he can get past Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney, I think he wins the bracket.
Oh, all right. I love that. I love that prediction. We need to go rally the troops out there, Chris. So we'll drum up the Viva La Chico too, as well as the Larry Sweeney propaganda. There it is.
Yeah. Hashtag Viva La Chico. All right. And the other side, we have Grado against Brothers of Fun Destruction.
Yeah, Brothers of Fun Destruction, where that was a local play, of course. They their spots are pretty complicated when you involve like balloons and the never-ending string and all that stuff. But I think popcorn. I think deserving of an 8 seed. I'm not necessarily surprised they lost to Grado. So Grado is just his spots are like very smart, whereas Funstruction is very slap happy.
Yeah, Grado's the only wrestler. I think. Well, no, I think I've seen it since, but Grado's the first wrestler that I've seen use Doritos.
Yes, I think we were at that show together.
Yeah, I think we were. He used Doritos.
That's the match against Ego.
Yes, it was. He
Good
used Doritos as the thumbtacks.
Yes,
which doesn't necessarily hurt as much right away, but like those crumbs are gonna be there for a while, and like that's gonna get on your nerves later on.
You just don't want one of those Doritos pointing straight up. You know, if it's
true.
at like the top of a mountain, and
oh man,
you
let's
just catch the edge
right into your shoulder blade.
and then if the dust gets into the wound,
especially your if you get, and also in your eyes, like imagine that, like you're blinded, and then you're gonna fall into the Doritos again.
that's terrible. So yeah, Grado moved on there. There was a lot of love for Alfonso Gonzalez. I want to say Alfonso Gonzalez at the 4 seed. He beat Drugs Bunny, another Hood Slam guy. I think that was one of the largest gaps.
Really?
Yeah, I want to say Drugs Bunny. Yeah, I think like it was like maybe like a 70 or 80-20 split or 70-30 split in terms of percentage of votes.
Wow.
So Alfonso Gonzalez really ran away with it, and he's the funniest guy he knows. That's what he keeps saying. But I think he's really been able to show that side of. Well, that's really he incorporates comedy into all of his matches, and I think he's been able to show that side rather quickly. We've talked about like how quickly he's come out of the scene, how quickly he's been in important feuds. So yeah, it's a dastardly funny, but you know, he has his own dojo for Team Alfonso, but he's the only one on the team. He won't let anyone else join.
Sure.
So it's kind of like, I feel like you would appreciate his humor. It's a little dry at times.
I've seen a little bit of him. Definitely someone that I'm going to check out more of. Mostly because he is newer on the scene. I think I saw him live. I've seen him at a freelance show, so it's not like he's brand new. Because it's been quite a bit since I made it out to freelance. But yeah, I mean, going up against Drugs Bunny, I think has the unfortunate task of not wrestling locally for a while.
Right.
But I mean, he has wrestled at freelance before and actively does what appears to be a white powder that gives him strength and is an actual bunny, which I think also might give him some strength as well. So the fact that Alfonso is able to it seems like destroy him, and that bodes well for Alfonso and the rest of the bracket.
He was do you think that there was any maybe maybe some straight edge people in the voting pool that did not appreciate the white powder usage?
Maybe, but I mean, if you're not doing drugs, like I don't do any of those kind of drugs. Like, hey, I mean, I'm glad someone else is doing it out, so I don't have to. Like,
right?
It's like nice of him to kind of fall on that sword
and just do all the blow.
So I don't have to, because I don't want to touch. I'd never want to touch that stuff. So
yeah, it's big of him.
But
and then we want to include halal beefcake, which we've seen at Zella Pro before, and they have some good promos that I feel like they seem like a team where you could just be like, okay, press play, and then they just start like almost vibing off each other and continuing to roll that into an actual funny promo. They don't seem to have a ton scripted. They just kind of like come up with it. At least I haven't done improv or anything like that, but they have like a good flow about them. But there's just no match for Kikutaro. Like Kikutaro at a 3 seed, he could probably be a 1 in some cases. He's so fucking funny. He doesn't even speak our language, does he? I mean, like minimal, I would think.
Yeah.
Very little, but dude is hilarious.
Yeah. My favorite thing Kikutaro ever, I mean, one of the things he ever did, one thing he does a lot of times where he'll start a match and lose right away. And there's this one time he did it. He lost. He started a match, lost right away. And he got on the mic and he's like, "Oh no, please, I've traveled so far. I traveled so far to be here. I can't go home. Please restart this match, please." And eventually he convinces everyone. And then there's another time where he just lost right away, and then they just restart the match, lost right away again. They restart the match. Eventually, he loses to the referee. And it's like, this is the genius, and it's he'll never do a serious match. Like, he does like 4 bumps at most. Like, it's just all comedy. He truly is the definition of a true comedy wrestler. Like, that's all he does. That's all he'll ever do. I'm pretty sure he's a pretty heavy cigarette user.
Okay.
So I don't think he has the endurance to do anything else. But he's just amazing at it.
Yeah, you have to. If you're really going to commit to that, you have to come up with creative things like that. And he's wearing a mask, so English is not his first language. He's wearing a mask, and he can't work. And it's like, take that, put it into a person, and still entertain the crowd. So you got to come up with some wacky shit to be able to do that.
Yeah,
that's great. And then Dan the Dad. Versus Sorta Incredible Iverson. Sorta Incredible Iverson made my my wife Margaret, who you guys know, but I'm just saying it for the listener. What
did she think of him?
She loved him. At Emporium, which was really funny, and I don't know if he's been doing this for all of his entrances, but Emporium, Kirby was like announcing them, and then he was like looking around the ring because Iverson wasn't coming out, and then all of a sudden Kirby sold it really well. His eyes lock on to something across the room, and he's like, "Oh, there he is!" And he points it, and it's just Iverson on top of a pool table with his like arms at his side, like puffing out his chest. So it's funny that he just didn't come through the entrance. It was just like, it's like you had to spot him. Like, it's a bird, it's a plane. Like, what is that? Where is he? And then had a super the ceiling was really low. So he kind of had a super low Superman dive onto the other 5 wrestlers in the match. But so it kind of played into it too, because he didn't jump really high because the ceiling was low. So, and it just made for like a very awkward, funny thing. So he's got something there. And we just recently had him on the podcast, but I feel like Dan the Dad took the comedy world by storm, and Sorta Incredible Iverson almost has that potential too, I think, to have as good a run. Yeah,
I mean, I've heard just recently a lot of good things about Sorta Incredible Iverson, and I think you're right. I think if this bracket were to happen in 5 years, it could be a whole different story. But unfortunately, he has the juggernaut that is Dan the Dad, and the Kansas Army behind him.
Yeah, and I mean it. I think the retweets do matter. If not that, I don't know. A wrestler might give a shit about this. They might not. It's probably just something for them to do. It's something for the listener, to do, is click a few buttons and follow along. But like, I think Dan retweeted our stuff, and that might have been the reason. Like, Sorta Incredible Iverson has a local following, not as much as maybe Alfonso Gonzalez or Chico. It hasn't been built up as much. But Dan the Dad, I think, was just a better Twitter user in this matchup, besides him being very funny and doing it for a little longer. But he was just a better Twitter user, and he just rallied his own group. He hit the retweet button,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important nowadays. That's why I don't have very many fans, because I do almost nothing on Twitter or anything else. I only have you guys.
I mean, you have the PW family though too.
Yeah, that's true.
They all love you, I think. So yeah, that was the. What do you guys see? Who do you guys see as like the finals and a winner? You got any predictions?
Well, let's take a quick look at the Elite Eight, right?
Whoa. The technology here is amazing.
This is the bonus stuff on YouTube.
Holy cow. If you're not watching this on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. I don't care if you're driving. Put the phone on. He just made the bracket change in front of my eyes.
It's true. You can watch. I think you can watch YouTube now outside, like in other apps, and I think it's free. Maybe.
Holy cow! The world has changed. What was the one thing that Matt Damon say? Fortune favors the bold. When he's telling everyone to invest in crypto right before it crashed.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, but it was that Super Bowl commercial.
Oh,
with I think it was advertising FTX, the crypto exchange that collapsed.
Was that the one that Tom Brady was in too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that one had some kind of fishy bullshit going on, I think.
But yeah, this is the final Elite Eight. That's a classy group of people. Who
do you are you rooting? Is your heart with Larry Sweeney, but where's your head at?
So if I were to put everything aside for my absolute disdain for the number one seed on the left side of the bracket, I think the final four, I think it has to be Colt, Sweeney, Grado, and Kikutaro. And like in my heart, Kikutaro, I think it goes over Grado. I think Larry Sweeney goes over that guy.
Okay.
And then it honestly, I'm okay either way. It's a 3C battle to me. In my heart, that's what I want. But I don't know. I mean, Chico Suave rallied and took out Swaggle, so who knows what he's able to do in this bracket.
It would be cool to see a Chico Cinderella story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a 7 seed. I think he has the best shot at taking this if he's able to rally like he did the first round. Like, there's also going to be some people that are they might be okay voting for him once, but they're not going to keep voting for him. He has to, hopefully his fans are very diehard and want to keep voting and want to keep doing that. Because I mean, people like Chikutaro, he just has more fans.
Yeah,
and the dad, like there's more of them out there. So Chico really needs to rally his base, but he's got a shot.
You think voter fatigue plays a factor?
It's possible. I mean, the longer this goes, I mean, people have a lot of ways that their attention is being taken. I mean, it could go any way. I think he might be able to do it. I want Larry Sweeney to win, but again, that's the matchup I think in the Elite Eight that should be watched.
Yeah,
that's Jeremy's matchup of the week.
Jeremy's matchup of the week. Great.
Yeah.
I think it feels like Kikutaro, after you explaining some more of what his stuff from what I've seen, it feels like he's underseeded, but I think he has a real shot in the final.
Yeah.
I agree. And I guess I'll predict him to win, but yeah, I think someone from the 3 or 7 matchup, this Larry Sweeney or Chico, makes a run and faces Kikutaro in the final. But like you're right, you're true in saying that he is like the epitome of a comedy wrestler. I think and I know the guy that you don't like, who you're not familiar with, he pretty much does have a comedy match every single time, but he can also do moves. Whereas like Kikutaro's repertoire of moves is so shallow.
Yeah. Like a stomp, an
I
eye
know.
poke. If he's running the ropes, he's going to be tired within 5 seconds.
That's great. So yeah, Chris, I think Jeremy chose Sweeney Kikutaro in the finals, and his heart wants Larry Sweeney. I honestly think Kikutaro might win now based on our conversation, and then maybe a Chico Cinderella run. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of predictions. But I don't know what you have.
Yeah, no, I think the Chico Cinderella run will be cool to see. But I definitely think we get that match that we've all seen over and over, and it never disappoints, which is Colt versus Kikutaro. And then it's
Cole versus not Cole versus Grado, Cole versus Kikutaro.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Jeremy
I
would
think
be
that
pretty
was
pissed at that.
I mean, I know what I'm rooting for. It makes it very clear.
Hey, we can at that point, as we get that match and Kikutaro could come out on top. I don't know. Kikutaro is actually one of the masks that I do want to have in my collection. I've got to ask him a few times, but his price is pretty high. So
I think he only
definitely out of
has
my
the.
budget.
I think he only has the one mask. He's not one that has a different mask for different clothes. Like he's
right. No,
he's very much like I only need one or two.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like Penta.
Yeah, well, yeah, Penta has a shit ton. And checking Google Images, he's got at least 3 or 4 based on the.
He has a few, but for sure he's not one to be selling his mask a whole ton.
Yeah.
So
or is the hat
mask,
part of the mask?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm seeing some different colored hats, but yeah, there isn't you're right, Jeremy. There isn't the amount of variation as like a Penta.
Yeah, but I think when we were earlier talking about Kiku and just what he does with I don't want to say with very little, but like just the comedy that he brings, the entertainment that he brings. When we're looking at this as comedy wrestlers, buffet bracket, I think he kind of has it all.
Yep.
So yeah, I would love to see Chico take it all the way. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Dan the Dad. Yes, I am a fan of Cole Cabana, but I think Kiko just kind of encompasses it all, and he has everything to make it to the final for sure, and come out the winner.
Yeah, I can't believe we just on this conversation we all jumped on that bandwagon, but it makes sense. And I did find a picture of him with Stephanie McMahon, which I tried to post into the chat, but I don't think it's working. So that's a pretty crazy picture that I just stumbled upon.
I'm Googling that right now.
Yeah. He tweeted it out, Kikutaro-san.
Not long ago, right?
2018.
Okay.
I need to make sure I tag him too in Twitter. I don't know if I tagged him the first time on this bracket, so he might not have seen it.
Oh, somebody's trying to eat his ear.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's a legendary photo.
There's one with him with Shane McMahon, Bret Hart.
Look at that thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's at the Performance Center, it looks like.
I mean, there's no way Stephanie knew who he was, right? Unless she saw him at the Performance Center. But that just seems like a weird mesh of worlds.
Wow. See, if he can get all these people behind him, there's no way he loses.
We get that retweet from Stephanie, then it's
game
on,
over.
Game fucking over.
Man.
Oh gosh, man! I can't believe an hour and 4 minutes have gone by. It felt like we talked for 30, maybe 20. But I don't know how we filled the air. But that's all I got. Unless you guys want to rant, rave. There's no agenda, so I won't slap you on the hand for anything.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we went through the bracket. We talked about whatnot, everything that Jeremy has going on. I mean, the success that he has brought to Pro
Yes.
Wrestling Tees.
The success and whatnot, didn't it?
So I think it's a good time to kind of close it off. But like Jeremy, let us know where people can find you. What do you have going on? Upcoming shows. I mean, I haven't seen you at a show in a long time. I seen you at the flea
Yeah.
market, but
Yeah, we did. That was fun. I can't wait for those to start soon. Start next month, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see me probably in April at the Wolf's Flea Market outside Allstate Arena. I don't know when the next wrestling show I'm going to is going to be. Hopefully, when's the next freelance?
It's April 13th. 13th, yeah. No, April 14th. 14th, 15th.
Saturday?
Friday is the 14th, which
Okay.
is Logan Square. And then I think an underground show is the day after. I'm actually going to be out of town for that, but are you going to that, Jeremy?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. try to find. I might be wearing this tank top. Look at these guns.
I know. I was going to mention that earlier.
I wore a sweatshirt all day, so I mean, I just threw a tank top now. But I'm at home. You guys get to see the skin. Congratulations! If you're watching this on YouTube, you get all this. And how much is your premium YouTube account?
It's free $99.
We do it for the people. We do it for the people.
People are seeing this for free right now.
For free.
Wow, I would charge them, but hey, for you guys, it's gonna be free. I think I'm on Twitter. I think at Jeremy Zaucha, Zaucha. Same thing on Instagram. I think. Definitely check me out on the Parsing Tees whatnots. I'm definitely when I'm doing my sports memorabilia because that's my stuff that I'm trying to get rid of. I kind of went crazy on whatnot, procuring stuff. And how I run it is I do it's like a memorabilia break where you buy a division and then one person will get the signed piece of memorabilia. Everyone else will get like classic football cards. So you don't walk away with nothing. And like the entry price point is $15. So you can just throw $15, maybe get a signed Jamar Chase jersey.
Damn.
That's one of the ones I've done. I've had a Deebo Samuel mini helmet. So there's some good stuff in there. The next one I'm doing is Thursday. We're trying Thursday. I used to do Sundays, but I was doing the morning. No one really was awake yet. So it kind of died out pretty quickly. So I'm trying Thursday night. But yeah, or just all the different streams Parson Tees has, or just go to ParsonTees.com. You can sign up for the crate, ParsonCrate.com. We got a new subscription where it's an overstock crate where you can order it today and it'll go on the next 3 to 5 business days. And then it just, it's like just like the crate, it's like a monthly subscription thing. So every month, whenever, like a month after you order it, it'll come out. So that's always cool. C2E2, definitely check me out there. I'll have some of my personal stuff. We'll also have like C2E2 exclusive posters for Danhausen and Brody King. So you can get those there. And yeah, and then check me out probably your local wrestling show whenever I get a personal invite from Charlie and Chris.
You ever have? That's a lot. You have a lot going on. Do you ever have nightmares about like shipping things or putting things in boxes?
Yeah.
Do you ever have box nightmares?
My nightmare is we never have enough space.
Okay.
Like this week, we received 23 pallets of Parson crate boxes.
Oof.
And trying to find space for 23 pallets.
Damn.
While we were also like, we were shipping out the Parson crates. So like had to do that to get it out. And then we have the all elite crate right up again, like in less than it's like a week and a half.
Do you get mad when like AEW is doing well? Are you like,
no, I don't get
because that
mad.
means you're busier, right?
No, I don't get mad. I mean, if we get really busy, it just means people are staying a little later.
Okay.
but that's not. I mean, yeah, definitely support the business like any way you can.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, especially like with Pro Wrestling Tees, I think we're one of like, especially compared to WB, like the percentage of royalties that the wrestler actually gets from all their t-shirt purchases is like top of the line.
Okay.
And you can have like 800 designs on there, and whatever someone wants to buy, they can buy. So like to have that type of customization to fan bases is definitely something that I like to tout with Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, because you have to switch out the what's it called? You have to change the machine, right? Instead of isn't that
No, it's all direct to carbon, so it's like printed on like a computer printer.
okay?
So it can be any image, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the advantage. That's the differentiator.
So yeah, you can, because if you're screen printing everything. No, we screen print some stuff. If we're doing something that we're gonna do 10,000 shirts of,
Right. That's what I'm thinking
Well,
of. And
we'll
then it's
screen
like a
print
lot to
those.
change over. Yeah.
but like if it's just like a random, I don't know. Like I think soon I'll probably have merch for my card break. Me and my partner are known as the Husky Break Boys. Soon we're gonna have a t-shirt up with our logo. Like the five people are gonna buy that. Like, I mean, you're not gonna make a screen for that. Like, it's not gonna be worth it. But like with the direct to garment, like any design can be printed out.
Okay. Cool.
Not to put
That
you
is
on
a
the
big
spot,
advantage.
Jeremy, but is the podcast ever coming back?
Oh, not this. Not I'm gonna say not in the next 6 months.
Okay.
But who knows? I mean, I really like doing it. For those that don't know, I had a podcast called "What Do You Like." It lasted, I think, 37 episodes, and it was me just talking to people about something they're passionate about. Both you were guests on it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I liked having those conversations, getting to know people. It's just difficult when you're doing all the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
it was a good run, at least initial run. Not saying it's done so. But
if there's anyone out there that wants to produce it for free and book all my guests for free, and I just show up and record, I'm in for sure. It's just all the back end stuff became too much for just me.
For sure.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's still out there if you want to find it. What Do You Like podcast?
Yeah, I enjoyed some. Like I said, every industry, every like hobby, etc. Like collecting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting to hear about it. Hear, not necessarily dive into it, but hear about it. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's why I asked, because I did enjoy, listen to different things that I wouldn't even, I think you had somebody that made jingles or songs and like different types of things, like different hobbies that you wouldn't think of. So that was pretty dope. So
the game creator, I actually
right.
tested a game during COVID. That was fun. Jeremy won,
Of course.
But yeah, it was fun. The game, to create a game and to have it be balanced is a difficult fucking task. So shout out to that guy.
Yeah, he's actually created like 8 different games at this point.
He's so tough.
He's talking to a few publishers too, so who knows?
I hope he gets
that
on.
Goes. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Jeremy, thank you for joining us on this episode of Two Heels and a Face and talking through this bracket and, shining some light on the comedy side of wrestling.
Absolutely.
So we'll keep the bracket going, stay up to date on the bracket by following us on all social medias, Two Heels and a Face, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And then make sure, in those channels, Charlie for sure would put out a link for you to vote on the next round. Mm-hmm. We are on the Elite 8.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll just unravel as the weeks go by.
Yeah. Well, that should have been out already by the time you're listening to this. And then I think maybe shut it off this upcoming Sunday, Monday. So like get your vote in right when you see it. It really takes, I did a screen record video and it takes about 2 1 to 2 clicks to get there, depending on if you're on Instagram or Twitter, and about 3-4 clicks after that. So it's pretty seamless.
All right. Other than that, check out our website, twoheelsinterface.com. There are other things outside of just the episodes that we release. And make sure you stay up to date with the buffet bracket. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else,
Viva
Charlie?
la Chico. Hashtag Chico Cinderella. We'll get that one. Got a hashtag Chico Cinderella.
How many
we got Viva la Chico.
How many hashtags do you generate in this podcast? My gosh, you can tell you guys work in marketing and social media. I'm just
whatever
amazed.
we feel like.
It's just the amount of things. Look at that. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of things that just pop up on. If you're not on YouTube, you're missing out. Like, look at it. Look at these. Look at this. It's amazing.
Chris is a madman behind the
Buffet. There you go. Buffet bracket. I love this. Man.
Yeah.
After that, we didn't even talk about them, but you have the hashtag ready. Amazing. I just want to thank you guys for letting me jump on here. It's always fun. I wish I saw you guys more often. I'll definitely be seeing you at a show in the next few. Yeah, definitely. I say one more time. If you're not watching us on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
We will. We will see each other again soon. Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, guys.